Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Surrey City Council. And I'd like to call the first point of the Council-in-Committee agenda. So I'd like to call that to order. Delegations, Penny Bradley, Executive Director, and Debbie Brandt from Alexandra Neighborhood House. Yes,
Hi,
good evening.
Hi, thank you for having us. My name's Penny Bradley. I'm the Executive Director at Alexandra Neighborhood House. And I brought my colleagues today, Deb Bryant from the Association of Neighborhood Houses of BC. They'll be joining me in the presentation. And Neil Fernie-Howe, who's our Community Manager. So we wanted the opportunity to share with you about our centennial. We will be 100 years old in 2016, which is really a remarkable opportunity. Our next slide. Sorry, bear with me with technology. Speaking and technology are a challenge on a good day. So it's not a case of one set of people giving something that another set receives. It's a pooling by all of us of the best we know how to share. It's a living and sharing of life. That is really a value of a neighborhood house. This was from the settlement movement, which was really the precursor to social work and also the foundation of neighborhood houses. And it really is about us as community members working together with the individuals within our community to learn and grow and meet the needs of that growing community. So in the early days, some of you probably know us as Camp Alexandra. We were one of the first BC fresh air camps, and we have a long tradition of camps. We still offer some summer camps. We do a camp for supported adults and also for school-aged children. So we've done some day camps. It's not the ideal location for residential camps for kids, but we wanted to maintain some level of camping. Then we changed our name to Crescent Beach Community Services, which was really, it's an interesting manifestation of what the camp was. It was a group of local community members that actually gathered and lobbied the Association of Neighborhood Houses to open the doors full year, because up until then we'd really been only running the camps, and the local community had been growing and recognizing that there were some needs in the community, and they wanted a place that they could gather and do things throughout the year. And that's really how a neighborhood house grows. It's from the roots of the community and those community leaders coming together and starting things that then are sustained through other initiatives and things. We then later changed our name in 2009 to Alexandra Neighborhood House, and that was really to marry our work. So it brought our camps together. There were folks in the community that knew us as Camp Alexandra, but they didn't know us as a social service organization and the work that we did in community or do in community with children and families and people who have needs beyond what the community events and things are. So we blended those two worlds, and that's actually allowed us to promote our values as a neighborhood house and really grow that working community as well. Deb, do you want to speak to that?
Sure thing. Thank you, Penny, for inviting me. I'm the CEO of the Association of Neighborhood Houses, and so I'll just kind of put Alexandra Neighborhood House in this larger organizational context. ANHBC operates in the Lower Mainland. We have 7 neighborhood houses and an outdoor camp, and the Alexandra Neighborhood House is one of them. Alexandra Neighborhood House has been part of that family and actually really helped establish the association, was one of the precursors of ANHBC right at the beginning. I did want to just mention that I appreciated your kind of description of what the neighborhood house movement is. I think ANHBC, the Neighborhood House Movement, and Alexandra Neighborhood House is really at home with Surrey's vision for social development. We really look to our organization to really build child and youth-friendly cities and communities and cities, encourage citizen engagement, really look to develop culturally appropriate services and ensure that the entire community is included, including childcare programs, and focus on nutrition and food programs as well to kind of bring the community together. So these are places that you may see Surrey's vision for social development reflected in our vision, and also we sure see ourselves in that vision as well. So I think the slide before said we've been around since 1894 as an association. So really, compared to Alexandra Neighbourhood House, we're a little older than that even. But the Neighbourhood House in South Surrey really, in Crescent Beach, really represents an important cornerstone of our work. And in fact, our board formally recognized the importance of the kind of historical importance of the site in South Surrey as a kind of foundation for ANHBC's work. And we've really committed to maintaining that site and ensuring that the kind of integrity of the building and the integrity of the program goes forward into the future. They're really containers for our work and meaningful pieces of our history that we care a lot about and intend to commit to in the long run.
Thanks, Steph. So I added this slide just to really give a sense of what is timeless in terms of Alexandra Neighbourhood House and Camp Alexandra. So in as much as things change, they really do stay the same because it's about relationship. It's about working with people in community where their needs are at and growing with them. And I just think this is a really great reflection on our long-term history. And we have been around a long time because we're such a place-based, community-based organization. If we had not been, I don't know if we would have been able to ebb and flow with the change in the community as we've seen, as you all know. It's a very quickly changing community. I wanted to add this slide because at the heart of neighbourhood houses is social justice and community planning. This is the stuff that we may not get funded to support, but that we're actively speaking to. And we're very involved in community planning. We either chair committees with our small little infrastructure and our 3 senior staff. We try to participate fully. The Guildford West United Way Avenues of Change piece has been an interesting project. We don't deliver in that community in Guildford West, but we're active on the committee, the Joint Leadership Committee, because it's really about that collective impact. Sometimes you have to be at the table supporting the planning when the dollars aren't necessarily there, and that's really, again, at the heart of a neighbourhood house. We're not always just there to see where we're going to deliver services. It's about deepening change in community. And so that's been one where we have been able to participate both as a learner and also as hopefully a contributor in some way. So this again is growing together, growing with the community. We know that people come in our doors to attend programs and services. They may have a need for a parenting education program or an English language class. But our hope and what we've learned is that people will continue with us, attending community events. They'll continue as participants and on our board at times as well, so that they actually move through. When the service ends, the relationship doesn't end, it continues, and hopefully that strengthens community in some way, because they're seen as valued and important contributors. So here's a few program highlights. Some of you will be very familiar with some of these. The Alexandra Children's Centre has been really a remarkable opportunity both for the community and the families that need childcare, but also for us as a community organization. It's allowed us to build our infrastructure and to support our broader work. When you contribute and support like they have at Kensington Prairie, where we have access to space, we're able to provide infant-toddler programs that otherwise might not be viable, and we're able to allocate resources to other programs that may not be funded or are underfunded. So this is ways that the City of Surrey have been supporting community organizations, and that's one of the examples in our programs. The other is our youth collective, the Youth Space Project. So that's something, I think they were probably here about a year ago meeting with you, the youth collective. Or met with the committee of the council. And we're just in the midst of writing an MOU with the City of Surrey to offer a pilot at Sunnyside Hall at Bakerview Park. This has very much been a grassroots initiative. The youth have been absolutely remarkable and have shown great leadership. And we're very excited to support from behind with all our partners at the Child and Youth Committee. And then our community gardens. That's an example of a project really that is not funded. It's hours and hours of Neil's time developing and coordinating, and he'll speak to that now.
All right, so we are now just in the process of building our second community garden. The first one is across the street from our facility in the park off Sullivan Street. It's a 30-plot community garden, and the second one we're building is going to be 50 plots on land that's being leased to us by the Crescent Housing Society, which operates Kiwanis Park Place. This will be a disabled accessible garden, an intergenerational project that will include students from Crescent Park Elementary School as well as the residents at Kiwanis Park Place. Why community gardens? Community gardens are an excellent platform for community engagement and development because it brings people together in an informal way around a shared interest, which is growing food. Community gardens, as members of council know, are an excellent way to develop attitudes around food security, around sustainability, around community, and we would like, ideally, to see one in every neighborhood because it is, I believe, such a great way to bring people together in community and to learn about food in a vital way. Once we get this second community garden developed, we want to have a comprehensive farm-to-table program that would include newcomer Canadians and longer-term Canadians learning about cultural competency in food and teaching and learning from one another about things that you can do with what you grow through community kitchens, through farmers markets, and through food banks. And as Penny referenced at the outset, 2016 is the centennial of Alexandra Neighbourhood House at Crescent Beach. This is going to be an opportunity to work with the community in developing historical competency, learning about the history of South Surrey and White Rock, also to develop social awareness through 4 community conversations that we're going to be having on 4 topics of interest. One on reconciliation and relationship with our First Nations neighbours, second one on the visibility, safety and participation of children in our community, a third one on the environment and the emerging eco-economy, and a fourth one is going to be on, I've forgotten what the fourth one is going to be on. But there will be, so those 4 community engagement activities will include members of the community in providing input as to where they would like to see Surrey 100 years from now on areas of vital social interest. And it will also, the centennial will also be an opportunity for fun, for people to come together at events like our homecoming event, and again, informally connect with one another, and again, through those informal connections, build up the community at large. The centennial will culminate in October with a homecoming event. This will bring together people who've been associated with the camp in the past, either as campers, as staff, as volunteers, or even just as members of just people resident in the neighborhood. It will bring those individuals together, again, to share, to have the fun of musical entertainment and historical reenactment. We're going to be having a mentored youth theatrical performance that we're doing in cooperation with Beach House Theatre. And we're going to be having historical reenactors that are being provided by the City of Surrey. And I want to take this opportunity to thank the City of Surrey for the contributions they've been making to the Centennial Project, both with the historical reenactors as well as with the time that we've been getting from Ryan and Lynn, the archives and the museum. They're going to be helping us with a physical exhibition as well as an online exhibition. We're hoping to tour some sites actually tomorrow with Lynn as to where we can have those exhibitions, and we're extremely grateful for the in-kind support that the City of Surrey is giving us in that way.
And it's a time for all of us to celebrate, I think, is the point that we are really trying to share with our community. It's not just about Alexandra Neighbourhood House, but having a centennial is pretty darn significant in this neck of the woods. And so we hope people will really appreciate and understand that it's reflecting on their community. And I just wanted to also underscore the support that we've had as a not-for-profiting community, as a Surrey-grown community organization. We're a member of the Association of Neighbourhood Houses, but our planning is all local. There are a few of us in the community that have been here for many years, and the support that the City of Surrey provides to these locally grown organizations, I can't underscore how important it is and how valuable it is. It really is what strengthens our infrastructure in our community. So thank you for that. And I guess that's it. That went way faster than I anticipated.
Well,
and I didn't go off track. So I guess now it's, if you have any questions for us, we'd be happy to respond.
well, thank you very much, and Councillor Villeneuve, go ahead.
Thank you very much, and because of time, I'll make my remarks short, although in my heart they're long, because as a resident of Crescent Beach for 44 years, it was really Camp Alexandra at the time that brought everybody in the community together, regardless of economic status. And I will say most of my friends that went through that connection at Camp Alexandra through adult parties and raising children and daycares, they're still living, most of them in Crescent Beach, and still very close friends, and now raising their grandchildren there. And I think that's a tribute to the camp and to Neighbourhood Services Association. It has really done what it was supposed to do. And when you were talking about things starting and stopping, there was the Children's Centre there for a while, and it went under, and now there's another one again. And I'm so pleased to see it because it's a perfect location. And I'm just, as a question, going to ask you, I understand you're doing a video with adults that can make comments to share history. Is that process still going on?
Yeah, that will definitely be a part of what the stories piece of the project is. We're hoping to integrate that into our approach for sure.
Yeah, just very quickly, we're going to be doing a narrative history project called Your Stories Tell Our Story that's being led by a volunteer named Lois Peterson.
Okay.
And it's going to hopefully culminate in both a published book as well as incorporating photographs from a photo competition that we're undertaking with the Crescent Beach Photography Club.
Great.
Yeah. I didn't want to put you on the spot, Councillor Villeneuve, but it's the folks that, like you, contributed so significantly that we're trying to replicate a little bit more that approach to the work. So thank you for that.
Yes, it's been a treasure in my life and a major contributor to building community. And I really like the idea of the community gardens because I've heard from newcomers how that has really connected them to community. And so I think it's a great thrust. And what I see you doing is reconnecting with the community that's there now, which is different from the community that was. So thank you very much to all of your efforts, and I'm glad to hear Neighbourhood Services is staying aboard and preserving this wonderful heritage. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councillor LaFranc.
Thank you, Chair Woods. I just want to thank you, Penny and Deb. It's great to see you both standing up there talking about the work that you do. It's just been tremendous, the work that Alexandra Neighbourhood House has done over the years. I've known you, Penny, for I think 10 or 12 years now, and just the social justice aspect of the work is just so important around homelessness, around reconciliation. And I myself am a member of a community garden, and I know how important that is for our neighbourhood, and I just really appreciate that you are driving new gardens. And I really just want to thank you and continue the good work, and I look forward to participating in some of your celebration.
Great. Thank you. February 4th, VIP, you're all welcome.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I see no other speakers, so I'm going to thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to call for an adjournment.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed?